Yes, hi, I'm Dr. Kevin James with James Chiropractic Center in Alexander City. I'm here with Mr. Jimmy Martin, who originally presented to us with a lot of neuropathy in his feet. He has some diabetes. He has a condition called Charcot foot syndrome, and that situation is where his bones in his feet have fractured, separated, and shifted, and it actually increased the size of his feet, so he had to change shoe sizes over time. And he had been to the medical doctors and gotten into situations trying to get some help from them, and at some point of trying to get him care and working with him, some of the different doctors had made suggestions that there wasn't much else they could do for him except possibly cut his feet off. And we tried with some different therapies we've obtained and gotten in the office. We started out and tried the pulse electromagnetic field therapy for him. We did 51 sessions, hour at a time, to give him the full charge and get his health back as good as we could get it and see if we can make some changes for him. We've examined him from about October the 10th of 19 through March 11, 19, and we're giving him a final report today. We noticed a lot of decreased range of motion in his feet and toes and lower part of his legs. And he had different reports coming from medical doctors talking about edema, cellulitis changes, and swelling. He wasn't really having a lot of pain initially, as much as he was having loss of sensation, just couldn't feel anything. Mr. Jimmy likes to hunt, he likes to get out and be active, but he had told us that when he first started, he would have to come home after working all day and do his best to make it through the day. Then he'd be tired and need to take a nap and a rest, just to have enough energy by the time his wife got home that he could get up and do a few things with her before they had to go to bed and just start all over again the next day. As we progressed through the therapy and doing the PEMF therapy, he started noticing having more energy. He also had enough energy that he felt like going out and doing some deer hunting, feeding the deer, putting corn out in his feeders and stuff, climbing in and out of the back of his truck, doing more activities and things that he had previously been able to do. And one of the big things we noticed when we first examined him was he had limited range of motion in his feet, and he had decreased sensations. And after the 51 visits of care, he has noticed some definite improvement in the range of motion. He also noticed some improvement in the sensations in his feet and legs. And some of them came back, some of them still has inability to totally feel. And when he first started, on a visual and analog scale where you're judging pain, he said he really didn't have that much pain, but if he was judging 0 to 10 number of how bad numb it was and how bad it felt, he classified the left foot as a 9, the right foot was around, I think, a 7. And at the end of the therapy and the care, his visual analog scale had went to a 6 to 7 on either foot. And in one visit, he actually even mentioned that it seemed to be that if he overdid his walking and standing up on it, that's when the pain and the numbness was the worst. But there was times he could sit down and get rest, and the pain would numbness would completely go away. So we definitely had some changes. The X-ray findings, we see a few mild changes on it, but it wasn't any really groundbreaking, outstanding. Just all the fractures from the Charcot foot had healed up, and his foot went back to the exact normal shape and size it was previously. But from talking to Mr. Jimmy, and I'm going to let him give you his opinion on it here in just a minute, I think we did notice some changes in sensation levels. We did notice some increase in range of motion, and definitely felt that the therapy was worthwhile as the alternatives he had been presented to by the other doctors. So at this time, I'm going to let Mr. Jimmy talk to you, and he can tell you whatever he'd like to about the therapy.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Martin. I've started doing the treatments back in October. Like the doctor was saying, the first thing I noticed was having more energy. And then I started noticing I was able to move around more. In the very beginning, a year or so ago, a year and a half ago, I started out in a wheelchair, and finally went to crow boots and come out of the crow boots and started walking with braces on the feet. Eventually I come out of those, started wearing boots, and I was still uncomfortable. But once I started with the treatments, I've had more energy, I've been able to walk more. I've noticed after the last treatment, starting, my last one was last Wednesday, Thursday, I went to the track, walked 3/4 of a mile. That's the first time in 2 years I've been able to walk. Friday, I was able to make it a mile, and I was really just pleased me to death because I was used to, 3 years ago when all of this started, or 2.5 years ago when all this started, I was walking 5 miles a day. I was doing 3 to 5 miles a day before I got sick with my legs. So to be able to get back out and start walking was a plus. Monday I hit the track again. I was only able to get a half a mile in. Once I got that in, I said, you know what, as I've done enough today. Yesterday I've done 3/4 of a mile, so this afternoon I'm gonna try to go back out and get the rest of it in. I've got more energy. I've got less pain and numbness in my feet that I've had before. And I'm really was pleased with the progress that we made.
So do you feel like you would recommend these sessions for people with chronic pain and chronic disease issues?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And I will throw in also, Dr. James, that his readings from his PMFs when we tested his feet for neuropathy went from him not being able to feel anything before 80 and 90 to 50 and 60. So definite sensation changes.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.